The evolution of BC's world-class industry-led product stewardship model. What makes product stewardship in British Columbia unique? In BC's industry-led product stewardship model, responsibility for end-of-life management of products and packaging is shifted from local governments and taxpayers to producers and consumers. Under the BC model, the key actors in the value chain are empowered to innovate to ensure that recyclable products are managed in a sustainable and cost-effective manner. The benefits are obvious. Diverting the recyclable materials of everyday products into the resource recovery economy and away from the landfill reduces the energy needed to produce new products from virgin raw materials. BC's leadership position in stewardship did not happen overnight. In 1970, the provincial government legislated a mandatory deposit refund for soft drink and beer containers. In the 90s, the Ministry of Environment developed new regulations engaging a growing list of producers. Beginning in 1991, programs to recycle scrap tires and lead-acid batteries were implemented. Industry programs for the take-back of used oil followed in 92 and paint in 94. In 96 and 97, industry programs for unused medications and a series of household hazardous waste products were implemented. Most recently, in 2007, an industry-led electronics recycling program was implemented and then expanded in 2008 to include all electronic and electrical equipment by 2012. 2004 was a significant year in the maturation of our product stewardship model. From 1991 to 2003, there were quite different separate regulations for every program. Industry and ministry staff advocated for a single regulation that would provide an outcome-based regulatory framework for all product categories. In 2004, the recycling regulation replaced all earlier regulations. The Environmental Management Act is the enabling legislation for stewardship programs in British Columbia. The program requirements are set out in schedules to the recycling regulation and are authorized by Cabinet. The Ministry provides leadership, environmental management through legislation, monitoring of programs, and compliance activities. BC's industry product stewardship is based upon the OECD, Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development, Extended Producer Responsibility, or EPR model. The core of this model is the shift from government-managed, taxpayer-financed waste management programs to industry and consumer-managed and paid recycling programs. This focus on results as opposed to prescribed methods is what differentiates BC's model from those found in other parts of Canada and the world. In BC, performance reporting is key. Recovery, consumer awareness, post-collection management, and operational efficiency are some of the areas reported annually to the Ministry and made available to the public. Producers, typically the product's manufacturer, distributor, or brand owner, take on the challenge of developing a plan and implementing a program to collect and recycle their product once it reaches end of life. Producers typically appoint an agency to carry out their duties under the plan. There are 4 principles of our product stewardship program. Responsibility for waste management is shifted from general taxpayers to producers and users and not downloaded to local governments or taxpayers. All producers of a particular product category are accountable for the same product stewardship responsibilities. All consumers have reasonable and free of charge access to collection facilities. A results-based program provides brand owners the flexibility to determine the most cost-effective means of achieving the outcomes with minimum government involvement. Producers are required to set and achieve positive environmental results. The goal is continuous improvement. Industry is accountable to both government and consumers for environmental outcomes and allocation of revenue from fees or levies. Where consumers pay any separate fees or charges, independently audited financial statements are required to be submitted to government and made publicly available. The stewardship plan submitted to government describes program operating details. It outlines the products, producers, and compliance with the recycling regulation. It clarifies the collection network and the extent of the consumer education program and identifies how the program will be financed and the results reported to government. Making stewardship work. Now let's take a look at the individual industry programs in British Columbia. Encore Pacific is the stewardship agent for beverage producers, known best for their Return It system, which recovers 80% of beverage containers sold in the province on behalf of over 1,000 brand owners. They also manage programs for the Dairy Council's voluntary milk recycling and ESABC's e-waste program. NCORP's collection system is a mix of return to depots and return to retail, with 172 privately owned licensed return at depots, 20 other collection facilities, 268 major grocery stores which are obligated by regulation to take back containers, 194 government liquor stores, 22 Salvation Army thrift stores, and 9 mobile collection service providers. NCORP is a not-for-profit corporation with governance standards that mirror those of a publicly traded company. An annual report is publicly available. BREWERS Distributor Limited, BDL, operates warehousing, distribution, and recycling facilities throughout Western Canada, distributing beer to all liquor retail stores and licensed establishments. BDL is ideally placed to operate an efficient closed-loop container return system on behalf of all domestic brewers, picking up empty beer containers while delivering full goods. BDL's product stewardship responsibilities in BC include refillable domestic beer bottles, beer cans, and refillable glass cider and cooler bottles. Refillable bottles are returned to the brewers for cleaning and reuse on average 15 times. BDL containers have a return rate of 94%, diverting 57,000 metric tons from BC landfills annually. There are currently over 1,200 beer container return locations throughout BC, including return-to-retail locations and recycling depots. The Tire Stewardship BC Association is the not-for-profit society responsible for the collection, processing, and environmentally sound disposal of all scrap tires designated under the BC Recycling Regulation. The tires included are car tires, truck tires, and some agricultural and logger or skidder tires. TSBC collects an eco-fee on the sale of every new tire that is used to pay for transporting and recycling BC's scrap tires. Almost 100% of the scrap tires generated are collected and recycled in Delta, BC. The BC Used Oil Management Association manages the collection and recycling system for used oil, oil filters, and plastic oil containers. Antifreeze and antifreeze containers will be added on July 1, 2011. It's important to keep these hazardous materials out of our environment and return them to local collection facilities. About 90% of what is available for collection is currently recycled. There are over 4,000 generators of used oil materials that require regular pickups by registered collectors. About 490 of these generators are return collection facilities for the do-it-yourselfers. The oil is re-refined into new oil and used as a fuel. The filters are processed into new steel products, and the containers are processed to make new oil containers and other plastic products. Let's look at the household hazardous waste programs operated by the Product Care Association. Product Care is a not-for-profit industry association that manages product stewardship programs for household hazardous and special waste across Canada. Products included in the BC Paint Plus program are household paint, flammable liquids, pesticides, and waste gasoline. There are over 100 depots where consumers may return these leftover products, keeping them out of landfills and waterways. Product Care's BC program expanded on July 1, 2010 by adding the BC Light Recycle program for fluorescent light bulbs. There are over 165 collection sites that will accept residential use compact fluorescent lamps and tubes. The Tree Marking Paint Stewardship Association has developed a cost-effective and efficient system to manage residual paint and empty aerosol containers sold by their members. Many commercial and industrial users of these products manage the containers and the residual paint on-site through the use of handheld evacuators. Other users return containers to the point of purchase for safe evacuation and recycling. The goal of the program is to manage the waste product as close to the point of consumption as possible. The Medications Return Program is the safe and easy way to eliminate expired or unused medications in the home. Keeping medicines around the house is not safe. Expired medications can be ineffective or even toxic. Children and teenagers could take the medicine by accident. Prescription drugs, including over-the-counter medicines, can also be subject to reuse, misuse, theft, and abuse. They should not be disposed of in the garbage or poured down sewers or drains. Medications can be taken in their original containers after removing any personal identification to any participating pharmacy across the province. The medication does not have to be returned to the pharmacy where it was purchased. The Electronics Stewardship Association of British Columbia, ESABC, operates in accordance with its stewardship plan to ensure that end-of-life electronics are collected, diverted from landfills, and processed in a socially responsible manner which safeguards the environment. This is achieved by the recycler audit process, which requires ESABC-approved recyclers to demonstrate sound upstream practices by handling electronics in an environmentally responsible manner, and good downstream practices, which includes not shipping products offshore to developing countries for processing. As of September 2010, ESABC has responsibly diverted more than 38 million kilograms of material from landfills. ESABC currently diverts over 1.5 million kilograms of electronic waste each month. To achieve this rate of collection, ESABC has established a comprehensive collection network covering over 97% of the province. Call to Recycle is the only free, North America-wide battery and cell phone collection program. Since 1994, Call to Recycle has diverted more than 143,000 kilograms of batteries from local landfills and established a network of 1,200 recycling drop-off sites in BC at retail, municipal, public agency, and business locations. Call to Recycle is operated by the non-profit Rechargeable Battery Recycling Corporation, RBRC. Recycle My Cell is Canada's free national recycling program for mobile phones and accessories. RecycleMyCell.ca links participating cell phone recycling programs, allowing consumers to enter their postal code to locate the 10 drop-off locations closest to them. Consumers can also access prepaid mailing labels and other important information, including how to remove personal data from devices before recycling them. Recycle My Cell is run by the Canadian Wireless Telecommunications Association in conjunction with cell phone carriers, handset manufacturers, and certified processors. With over 550 drop-off locations in BC, the program offers a free, easy, and convenient means to recycle unwanted cell phones and accessories. Proceeds from the recycled wireless devices go to benefit many local and national charities. Switch the Stat is a thermostat recycling program delivered in partnership with HVAC contractors, wholesalers, and municipalities in British Columbia and Ontario. The goal of this program is to provide a safe and responsible disposal option for older mercury-containing thermostats and to encourage the uptake of energy-efficient programmable thermostats. The program is accessible to every resident through collection channels, which include drop-off at participating contractors, wholesalers, and municipalities, a send-back option, and return to retail events. To date, the program has collected over 40,000 thermostats and recovered over 140 kilograms of mercury. Summerhill Impact works with the Heating, Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Institute of Canada, HRAI, on behalf of thermostat manufacturers that fund the program. Stewardship that works. Let's summarize why BC's industry stewardship model is held in such high regard on the world stage. The BC Recycling Regulation shifts responsibility for management of end-of-life packaging and products from general taxpayers to producers and consumers within a results-based framework. This approach has demonstrated success in reducing the cost burden for taxpayers by relying on the efficiency of the private sector to deliver effective waste management and recycling systems that meet the needs of industry and consumers alike. The focus on results, as opposed to prescribed methods, is unique to the British Columbia system and the key to its success. The freedom afforded by government allows producers the opportunity to develop programs and financing mechanisms necessary to get the job done. Stewardship programs in British Columbia operate under the highest standards for transparency and accountability and consistently produce outstanding results in recovery, program awareness, and consumer satisfaction.